If I'm going to use flying vehicles, I need to understand these rules. This is the Sky Zephyr's Quick Start Guide. Air Zone Combat Aircrew Zephyr Rules. And I'm hoping to have Tom and Bodhi on again at some stage in the upcoming future. So the zones I get, the only real zones I think I'm going to need to know about is the Terran zone, as in things to avoid hilltops and mountains and congestion, sky congestion. The first zone is dangerously low to the ground. Use the Terran zone effects table. Let's look straight at that table. So we have the Zephyr must make a deck save and it might collide with an obstacle, causing bludgeoning damage equal to half of the acceleration times 10. Glare, con save, or you're blinded, thermal current, deck save, forced to return because of hot air and stuff. Dust jam that jams the blades, low flying obstacles, yeah, small flying creatures, etc. And an acceleration stream, a slipstream in level 2, heavily trafficked. When a Zephyr enters this zone, players on the Zephyr that are not wearing protective equipment or holding their breath are suffocating. Alright, so winds can be favourable, unfavourable, neutral or storm. Favourable, you're getting blown by the wind, you gain a forced speed point. And you must include that speed point in acceleration every round. You cannot come to a stop. The extra force speed you gain from the wind will continue to move 20 feet around. Unfavourable wind goes towards you. You have to spend double the speed points. All stats are normal or storm effect table. Ultimately you're blown around and there's a little bit of damage. Okay, I think we need to go to movement first. So each Zephyr has a speed and it's broken into 20-foot chunks. So one speed point is 20 feet, 4 speed points, 80 feet. So each Zephyr has a base number of speed points, depending on size and number of parts and stations. Your base speed points and control manoeuvre costs will always remain the same. You may spend all, some or none of your speed points, so you can move or even not move. So you could choose to perform a manoeuvre of some sort, or you can simply put your foot to the floor and accelerate. Really, it's like a hot air balloon though. A lot of it is you float on the wind, but some of these ships have propulsion, in fact probably most of them. So you spend them in any order you like. For example, if you have 16 base speed points, 16 base, so 16 times 20 feet. That's oh no, 4 speed points. 4 speed points is 80 feet, yeah. If you have 16 base speed points, your base speed points always remain the same. If you have 16 base speed points and an acceleration of 4 speed points, natural deceleration is applied from your last turn, that's fine. You can spend 8 speed points to perform adjusting altitude manoeuvre, or that. So during the Zephyr movement phase, you would move up to an air zone. Up an air zone, you would move 80 feet. Then you would finally turn 45 degrees in place. So yeah, you add them together. Forced speed points, is that like a skid? If you're in the air and you do like that, you come to a stationary stop. But if not, I can say it is in my game. And the wind factor can slow you down. You know, skid into the wind makes sense to me. Set acceleration once a turn as part of your action at the helm. You spend your speed points to set how fast you're going to move. So you move in the chosen direction you're facing. If no speed points are spent to maintain that speed or change it, your Zephyr will automatically continue to travel at the same acceleration. That's fine. But reduced by 20 feet due to the natural deceleration from not having your foot on the gas any longer, so to speak. So maintain, I get that. Adjust, you spend speed points. Maximum acceleration, you spend all your speed points on just accelerating. Okay, so speed points I think we've got. You can ram into people. Both Zephyrs take 1d10 bludgeoning per speed point spent. Okay, so this is a good illustration. You can choose to climb, you can choose to go down. You're flying with the wind in the blue, you're flying unfavourably and slowing you down there. This is a favourable wind and do a sort of one of those skids and 90-degree turns. This, you point down 45 degrees, then you do a skid, all to be allotted in your chosen movement when you declare what you're doing. So port and starboard just doesn't stick in my head. Bow and stern, yeah, you bow forward, and I can't think of how you would be stern looking at the back, but you bow forward, I get that. So port, can't think of something that would make me remember. Maybe? Yeah, P comes before S, doesn't it? So P would be first in the alphabet, being my left hand, and S would be my right hand. Okay, that works. I need a system. Boarding rules, I would just wing. Repairs, because the ships are in parts. Repairing a Zephyr station or a part removes any compromised condition, returns it to full functionality. Use an investigation check to understand the damage. Use another action to do sleight of hand to repair that station. This action lasts for 1 minute of combat to do the repairs. You must stay near it. If you have the mechanic feature, you can add your proficiency bonus to both checks. If you use the correct tools, you can add your proficiency. If you roll a nat 20, it's immediately repaired. Air crew rules. So basic air crew, any race, any alignment, only a 1d8 worth of hit points. It's almost commoner stats. They get a +1 when making an attack using the ship's weapons, because they'd be aware of it. They have a club and a dagger. They're just average people who are in need of some extra cash. Okay. They can roll morale checks. All players have access to the basic aircrew commands. Retrieve, give an item, go get me something. Reload a weapon, take cover, abandon the Zephyr, and an intimidating cry, primal wail. Oh, I like this. A mutiny ends up occurring. Yeah, alright. These I can use. So what each size of Zephyr needs. Aircrew, maximum carrying capacity, the minimum size of the ceruleanite power gem. A trigem, a nonogem, octogem. Okay. 3-sided. Nono? I don't know. 5? I'm just embarrassing myself, aren't I? Minimum charges required to start the Zephyr, because each gem has a certain amount of charges. You need 3, you need 9, you need 18, 27, 36. Base movement, 16 speed, 12, 8, 4. Because the smaller the ship, the faster it can move naturally. Right, the sections of the Zephyr. All Zephyrs are split into 4 sections. The foundation, propulsion, confrontation, and utility. Right, utility, recreation. Confrontation is the weapons. Right. So down to the Zephyr parts, these are items and areas that comprise a Zephyr. Each part has a threshold. When surpassed with damage, they get the compromised or get damaged. All Zephyr parts are considered to be magical. In the event that a part is required to make a save, it rolls using the Zephyr's ability score. All parts are immune to effects of mind damage. Power gems. To charge a gem, a creature can expend a spell slot. If they expend a spell slot, the power gem regains charges equal to 3 times the spell slot used. A third level will give you 9 charges. When you choose the confrontation stations, you must choose their location on the ship, good, and firing radius, using our 4 firing radii. There's a cost in gold. The slot is which part or piece it is for. How hard is it to find the piece? Augment, any part that changes the stats of it. AC, however difficult the part or station is to hit with an attack or spell, the AC of the part and station scaled to represent the difficulty of hitting parts or stations. For example, engines have a higher armour class than the hull because the engines are inside the hull. Get it? Threshold, how much damage it takes before it gains the compromised condition. Ability, any passive effects. Action, an action that a player may activate when using or manning that part or that station. Compromised condition, once the threshold has been passed, this condition can be removed once it's been repaired. If it already has the compromised condition and is hit by another attack that deals enough damage to do it again, the Zephyr makes a con save. On a fail, it is permanently knackered until fixed. Oh, right then. An Arcane Fuelman is a spellcaster, yes. When you thrust an engine, it gains double speed points per spell slot. It must have a thrust ability on that gem. And you can have somebody who fires weapons, someone who does the mechanics kit, power gems, how many charges as we saw. And as I've mentioned before, you can get a discount on buying these products in my description. And I'm going to jump into the Sky Zephyr's book to just look at a stat block. Okay, I came across the Wandering Tavern PDF quicker. So let's see this one for example. Hit points 208. It can carry 2 creatures, carry 3 tons of cargo. It's a tri-gem, requires 1 charge to start. Its base speed points are 16, 320 feet. I'm going to have to ask Tom and Bodie, the guys themselves, about this. To do a 45-degree turn, it costs you 4 speed points. That's like all your speed points on little ones like this. Adjust altitude maneuver is 8 speed points. Oh, so my base speed points are 16. So if I did both of those, that would be 12 speed points. So I could actually move forward 80 feet, do an 80-foot 45-degree turn, and then fly up 160 feet. That sounds about right. AC of 14 to hit me. The threshold is 70 damage. Endure. The Zephyr strength is increased by 2. It has disadvantage on all con saves until the hull's repaired. It also takes max damage from a ram action. Oof. And that's just the hull. That's just the hull, right. So if you hit the air blast engine, that has AC of 20, a threshold of only 10. And when you're manning the station, expend a spell slot to activate air jets, increasing the speed points by 2 speed points per level. The boost lasts until they're all spent. Anyone behind must make a strength save or take bludgeoning damage. Any creature who fails is knocked backwards 20 feet. Oh, alright, nice. And Zephyr that fails has its speed points reduced by 2 because they're going into like the wind a bit. Okay, it's starting to make sense now. Then we have a helm of 15 AC, threshold 25. A creature manning the helm can take an attack action with a confrontation station weapon that shares the confrontation link. All damage dealt gains +5. That confrontation station being, use your AC 15, threshold 25, use your dex modifier when calculating attacks and damage with this weapon. Must be reloaded in between uses. Range, dex modifier +1 to hit. Good range, hits 3d10 plus dex modifier +5 from using the confrontation link. Does slashing damage. You can make 2 attacks with this weapon with 1 attack action. The threshold damage is calculated based on the total damage of all claws that hit a targeted part. It has wings to ride with. You can gain a speed point. Balloon tires for the lift. Yeah, okay. And then finally, it has a frozen time bomb, which the enemies can target as well. You use your intelligence modifier when calculating attacks and damage with this weapon. Once a day, +1 to hit, intelligence modifier +1. Hit 2d6 plus int mod, force damage. On a hit, the projectile bomb explodes. Any Zephyr or creature within 40 foot radius makes a DC 17 dex save or is frozen in time for 1d4 rounds. That's cool. So creatures can't move or do a great deal. A Zephyr comes immediately to a stop. All weapon station, etc. will suffer the compromised condition for that long. Any attack that hits the time-frozen Zephyr is a crit. Attack rolls against the time-frozen Zephyr have advantage. So when I give my guys their first airship, as it were, their first Zephyr, I can now let them save up and change out their confrontation stations and their propulsion and whatever else and make it bigger and bigger over time. And they can use the wind and watch out for storms and ram people. I mean, that is all I need to start me off, and then I can dig deeper as we go. I just thought I'd share this video where I'm trying to get a deeper hold on how exactly to run these ships. And that's it for now. See you later.